All right, so now let's dive back into our actual application. Now that we talked a little bit about how the API works, go back here. We installed all those 3 packages. Let's set up our basic app. So this should be review, but touch app.js. Let's open it up. What is it? C9. Okay. Do our basics. So we need var express equals, and like I said, this is going to be bare bones. We're not going to style it or make it pretty at any real fun functionality, but it will be something you can use sort of as a template for other apps that use APIs. And then we'll do app equals express. While we're here, so I'm just going to open up a previous app. Let's do this one. Copy this line. I always forget this one, the process.env.port, but I'll just put this here and I'll change it to say movie app has started. Okay, and then we'll also require request. Just like that, and save it to a variable. Okay, so this Express app, like I said, will have 2 routes. One /search and another one /results. So we'll see a form on one page, we'll fill it out, and then that submission of that form will then trigger or send a request to our results route, which will then actually work with the API, send a request to the API, that will come back, and then we'll display the results. Let's start simple by taking app.get, and we'll just do /results, request, response, our standard route. And then in here is when we'll actually do an API call. So when a user triggers /results, we'll actually do a search of the API. And we're going to start by hard coding it in. So let's hard code in a search like we have here. Sure, we'll do it for California. So this is the API call we're just going to start off by making every time. So just to jog your memory here, this is what we're looking for. Request this giant URL, and then the callback with error response in body. So let's try that now. Let's just start by just making sure our route works. So let's do res.send hello. It works just like that. Let's start up our server. Okay, movie app has started. Let's now go visit, preview. So we don't have our root route set up, but we should have /results, and we get hello, it works. And I'll just open that up in a new tab and get rid of this here. Okay, so rather than seeing that, we want to see our movie data, and we'll start by just seeing all of it. So I want to see this, but when I go to /results. So we're not dealing with HTML yet, that will be next, but we just want to make sure our API is connecting. And that's what I usually do, is start with the API and then worry about presentation. So request that URL that we need. Of course, I copied something else, so let's go back, copy that URL. This is where we're requesting. Feel free to make this whatever search term you want, whatever state you live in. And then we need our callback. So it's error, response, and then body. And then we add in that if statement. Technically, we don't have to have that. It's just good to have, just so that we're not, working with broken data, and we can handle the error if we need to. So if there's not an error, and response dot status code equals 200. If that's the case, then we're going to work with body. So before we even parse it, let's just send the body. So res.send body, which will be a string at that point. And let's see what we get. Refresh. And there we go. Now, when I refresh, you can see it starts off, it's really hard to see because this Chrome extension is kicking in, but you can see this JSON here. It's actually a string of JSON. What we need to do now is turn it into an object. So if I wanted just to get the first title, if I, let's see, go back here, I just want King of California, or whatever the first title is. I need to access search, and then it's an array, so I want the 0th element. But if I do that here, and save, we get an error, which is cannot read property 0 of undefined. So this is undefined here because body is still a string, just like we saw in the last video or 2 videos ago. We need to convert it to an object. So that's where we get our json.parse body. We'll save it to, let's just call it results. Or yeah, results is fine. json.parse body, and then we just replace body here with results. So that gives us the object form of that string that's been parsed and converted. Then we can access it just like any other object. And now we get this single element, and then if we just want the title, restart it one more time, and we get King of California. Excellent. So pretty straightforward, really. We're not done, of course, but all that we did was basically take our request code that we had earlier and just put it inside of a route. So next up, we'll be taking the response and actually creating a template that uses it and displays all of the movie titles in just a simple list. And it will just be HTML rather than this plain text that we see now. All right.